Hey, what's going on, everyone? Welcome to another episode of Kobe MC Photography's YouTube channel. Today, all we're going to basically be doing is just going around doing some run-of-the-mill street-style photography. No super fast action or anything, because what I want to actually show in this video is the capability of in-camera raw edits with a Pentax K-3 Mark III. There are some interesting filters available, and there actually is a good amount of headroom in regards to the features and capability of the in-camera raw editing. So that's what I want to show today, and let's just get right down to it. I'm just going to walk around the downtown area in my town and see what we get. So, going to be shooting with the Pentax DA18135WR, and I'm just aimlessly walking around just to see if there's anything to shoot. Might do some panning of some of the vehicles that are traveling along here. You can see in the background there. And yeah, that's pretty much all that I'm going to be doing. Like I said, no, this is not going to be a birds in flight or anything like that. This is just going to be strictly, some other strengths in regards to the K3 Mark III, because it is an absolutely phenomenal all-around camera. And instead of focusing on just one thing, because it's not a one-trick pony, it is a multi-trick pony. Does a lot of things excellently, and I'm going to showcase that. Alright, so I'm going to be shooting in TV mode, which for other brands is shutter priority. And so the ISO may adjust on its own, and the aperture is definitely going to be changing, fluctuating back and forth depending on the lighting. And I have the K3 Mark III exclusive panning mode enabled in the shake reduction. So let's see what happens. Right now I'm going to start at trying to keep the aperture a bit open, but it's difficult. So when I'm at 1/100th of a second, I'm getting f10. But you know what? We'll see what happens. Yeah, I'm trying to use the own autofocus, and it's not quite doing it. Maybe I'll take a couple shots with it, and then from there we'll actually see what that turns out like. I'm only going to do a couple shots though, because so far it seems to be focusing on the wrong items. Okay, I'm going to drop my shutter speed down to 1/30th of a second and see what happens. And shooting at an intersection, everyone's staring at me. It's kind of comical, actually. I think that actually might work out. And then afterwards, I'll load it up in, well, when I get back to my home, then I will actually go through the raw editing capabilities, and you'll see what all the different changes for all the parameters. But it'll be interesting, because there's a lot of funky effects that you can actually pull off with this thing. Just waiting for a vehicle to actually come the other way now. So I'm at 1/80th of a second, ISO 100, panning mode on for shake reduction, DA18135WR lens, and here we go. Take a picture of my setup. That's okay. panning mode back on. So I just had that guy on the scooter just parked behind my phone, staring and staring and staring at me and watching everything I was doing. I just shrugged my shoulders at him like, hey, like, you have something to say? And he just gave me an evil look and went across the road. So I have a feeling someone may actually say something while I'm out here, but whatever. It's nothing illegal. Street photography, I'm out in public, so it is what it is. And he's still staring at me. He doesn't even realize I'm actually recording a video. Or maybe he does. I don't know. Whatever. He's just a person. Who knows? Okay. Panning off, actually. White Volkswagen Jetta coming. It's actually going kind of slow, and I don't think I'm going to be able to get it. I got it. So I think Pentax actually was accurate when they described the panning shake reduction mode to be slow moving objects. I'm actually already, just this like 2 split seconds ago, I actually got a better result from shooting with auto shake reduction than I have been with the panning mode shake reduction in regards to the speed that the vehicles are actually moving. So, well, that's enough of that. Go do some architecture photography. Okay, so let's see what we can make out of this old church. Will be interesting to see what the raw editing can actually do in regards to that. I know there's some hydro wires there, so I'm going to shoot it at a different location, just slightly down that way, to shoot back up this way, to hopefully get the pier or tower, whatever you want to call that thing way up there. I don't know. I ain't a religious dude, so don't really know what all the ins and outs and whatever they call different things, but I just think it's a cool building, so yeah, I'm gonna take a shot of that. Now, the nice thing about the K-3 Mark III is the fact that it pretty much is a single-handed camera. You can access everything using one hand. I'm currently holding my, well, I guess, trigger or thing on my gimbal with this hand. And I just have one hand on the K-3 Mark III and it can access everything. Shutter speed, aperture, smart functions. Yeah, so it's a remarkably well-designed camera, and it's all because of this grip. This grip is so stable. Okay, so the first thing that you're going to want to be doing when you want to actually try doing some of the raw camera in-camera raw edit, there we go, is press the AEL button to the top right of the K-3 Mark III, and you'll be presented with this list here. Now, within this list, I've got to stop touching that, you've got your raw development, JPEG image edit. Now, these are all categorized as to their specific functions. So if you're, say in slot 1, you're shooting raw, you can't actually use what you see right now, which is the JPEG image edit, because it's not a RAW file. So the camera will actually tell you that you can't do that. And then this applies to JPEGs as well as the white balance adjustment. The one before that was the levels adjustment, color moire correction, and then this is movie specific things, save settings from image in regards to white balance. Let's see, save settings from image, save cross processing. Okay, yeah, so this looks like if you wanted to save as a manual white balance, then you could do that from the image itself. Same with cross processing. And then you've got your file management, which, you know, that one shows delete. Protect the file, image rotation, image copy, file transfer, and digital filter. So, and you also have cropping, which is actually pretty cool, because within the cropping, you have, what do you have here? Yeah, so you've got various cropping capabilities here. And as you can see, it also does show you in the top right the actual, I guess, the pixel size of the image itself as you're cropping. So that's pretty cool. Okay, so let's continue on here. Raw development. So let's go into raw development. And within here, you've got your white balance. Right now it's multi-auto white balance. We can change that. Daylight, shade, cloudy, daylight, what is that? Daylight fluorescent, white, cool white, warm white, tungsten, CTE, and manual white balance. And then individual color temperatures. So yeah, you know, there is a fair amount that you can do here, and in here you can also go into the various custom modes such as landscape, vibrant, portrait, bright, all that, radiant, muted, flat. You know, if you wanted to actually see what those specific settings would look like, and then you can actually just set the camera to one of those that you actually prefer. I like shooting in natural. Let's see here, and then you can change the sensitivity. Now, I would have expected to increase the exposure. I would have expected that to be up, but going up actually drops it down. And you can only go +1 EV in total. But it does, as you can see, actually make a pretty good difference. So there's standard as shot, and let's go up 0.3, 0.7, +1. So it does actually make a pretty big difference here. And let's go to the next one. You've got a gazillion digital filters. Let's see, what do we have here? So your base parameter adjustment. So you can change the brightness, saturation, hue, contrast, sharpness, all that fun stuff. Extract color, replace color, toy camera, all the usual things that we're already familiar with in regards to Pentax cameras, because they've had these features for quite a while. And here's a new one, clarity. Well, it's not new. I believe the KP and the K1 and K1 Mark II both had this. Possibly the K70 as well is the clarity. Ability to change the clarity, so reduce haze in the image. In this one, you've got different skin tone types. I don't have anyone in the image with skin, so we're going to skip that. You've got HDR, pixel shift, distortion correction, peripheral illumination correction, lateral chromatic aberration correction, diffraction correction, color fringe, high ISO noise reduction, shadow correction. This one actually does make a pretty big difference. So if you look at the wheels and the black areas on the bus, as we increase this, you'll notice the overall image, it actually does make a pretty big difference. So that's pretty cool. And then your file format, JPEG or TIFF. Yeah, so it's actually quite a lot that you can actually do with this. Let's go to one of the other images here. There's some of the panning I was doing. Some of it came out alright, some of it not so great. That one's way blurred. That one's not bad. That one's not bad at all. What was that? F14 1/50th of a second. Yeah, anyway. Alright, let's skip ahead here. Let's see, what should we focus on here? Yeah, maybe the panning thing wasn't the greatest to showcase the raw editing capabilities of the camera, but one actually, let's see here. Let's go into the raw development and let's see what happens if we go into the filters. So let's go down to the filters, if I can find them now. Digital filter, there we go. Okay, so this one, you can actually make a picture frame. And you hit info for more options. So you can change the border size of the picture frame. You can change the color of the picture frame. So you got gray, white, and black. So, I mean, that is pretty cool. You know, a lot of this is basically if you're out in the field and you don't have access to your computer, but you need to get the images done, then this is a great alternative because it actually does work very, very well. Let's see, digital filter. Oh yeah, you can stretch it out. Look at that. Has a lot of, oh look, it's a limo. It does have a lot of interesting functionality in it. I mean, it would take a long time to actually explore, but it actually, in a pinch, as I said, if you're in the field and you don't have access to a computer, this actually is a pretty vast amount of editing that you can do within the camera itself. And then just save it as JPEG and, ooh, look at that. Save it as JPEG and you'll be good to go. Or you can actually just, if you're already shooting JPEG, you can just directly go in and just change it right then and there. Let's see, what else did we have here? Oh yeah, and so there's the setup of what I was shooting with. And it looks a bit dark, so let's fix that, actually. Let's fix that. There we go. Nice and bright. Nice and bright. Yeah, so that's pretty much the raw editing in regards to the K-3 Mark III. As I said, it is a very good system that Pentax has developed. Oh, and there's that guy that was staring at me. You can already see he's just mad staring at me. Like, what are you doing, buddy? What are you doing? Look. He's mad. Anyway, okay, let's get to the church. That was the library. There's the church. Okay, so what I wanted to actually check with the church here is, I wanted to do one of the filters. Oh yeah, the fisheye looks crazy. Slim. Huh. Let's see. What was it that I wanted to try here? There's so many different. You can change the base parameters, as I had mentioned before, change the brightness. What was it that I wanted to do before? Yeah, so, oh, look at that. Replace color. Let's see what that does. Okay. Oh yeah, does make some slight changes here and there. It's interesting. I can't recall exactly which one it was I wanted to check out. I don't really play with this all that often. I just use it generally just for some raw editing in regards to exposure and things like that. But yeah, I mean, I do encourage you guys to check out all these various parameters of the raw editing capability within the Pentax K-3 Mark III, because overall, it's an absolute vast array of various things that you can actually pull off all within the camera itself. Because not everybody has an editor that they use. That is actually truth. I was surprised, but it is actually a pretty common thing. A lot of people do not have an editor and they generally shoot JPEG. So now you have no excuse. You can shoot raw, edit in the camera, and then produce a beautiful JPEG at the end of the day. So if you like the video, leave a like. If you haven't subscribed already, well, what are you waiting for? If you haven't subscribed already, please do so. It does help out. If you'd like to support the channel, I leave that information at the bottom of the description. And if you have any questions or comments, leave them down below, and you will see me on the next video. I'm out.